Okay, I told you I wanted to monitor the weight of the tongue when we go through construction, and this is a shear line tongue weight scale. And it's got a little piston there and a peg that the trailer tongue sits on. I've just about got it lowered into place. We're going to take the first reading. This is before any construction starts. So let's do this. Let's lower the trailer onto this scale. And look at there. You can see just about 180 pounds. So that's our first reading before any construction. Here's a 2x12 pressure treated board that I'm going to use as the edge of the front bump out of a foot. I've cut this cut here at about 25 degrees, and then I cut away essentially the top, or remaining top 2x6 length or thickness, if you will. Watch how this thing fits in. You can see that it's flush with the deck. And now what I'm going to do, and you can see my angled cut that matches the tongue. And so I'm just going to pull this back until it hits the 1 foot mark, which is right there. And that gives me the 1 foot bump out right there. So the benefit of that is I don't have to bolt anything. I've got these grooves cut in here, and so it's locked in place. It can't move. So I think that's a pretty cool little detail. So check this out. I told you I wanted to extend the back end of the trailer in width. And to do that, I've kind of fashioned this 4x6, as you see, with all these different cuts, including an angled cut here to fit over the fender. But I also had to groove the top here, if you can see that, by the thickness of that 2x2 flange that we added. So there's a kind of a twice cut here, if you will, and then notched it to fit over the light, the tail light. Let's see how that fits. So here it is. See, I followed the angle of the fender. I've got the notch so that this part here is flush with the trailer. Let's see if that slides on in. Hard to do this and hold the camera all at once. All right, see, so you see how that worked? That slides right in there. And now I'm gonna bolt it. This will lift up when I get ready to bolt it. I'll bolt it through the sides and through the top. I'll do this on both sides, and that's kind of a little outrigger for extending the trailer. The floor framing is now complete, and you can see these outriggers here where I've bolted them to the side of the trailer from the top and the sides, and I'm telling you, it is strong. So no worries there. But let's take a look at everything else I did. You see I've put some floor joists in here. If you look real close, I've tapered these ends so that they fit into the C-channel like that. And then I've got blocking to kind of keep them in place, and I'll talk about that also in a minute. Here's the front bump out of 1 foot. You saw me fit these pieces in the last segment. I've gone ahead and really tightened these up. I've got bolts, you can see that, through bolts that go to that C-channel right there. And then also I've got corner brackets on all 4 corners. And then I've got this 1x rip right here. It's actually held up a little bit, but that's going to be kind of a tray for the flashing, which you'll see go in. So here we go. We've sistered 2x6 joists alongside the joists that they had, and then I've braced between them. And that's going to help with my flashing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this flashing under all of this, and it's going to ride right along here, and I'll show you that in a minute. We're all set. The floor framing is basically complete. We're ready for flashing. We'll have insulation and subfloor. I'm going to take this flashing and I'm going to run it under here like this. It's actually going to catch on this C-channel and go under the floor joist like that, tuck in there very nicely. And then what I can do, you see how the floor joist is sitting on the flashing, of course that C-channel is holding it, but then I can wrap it around the bottom of this joist and screw it or nail it from the bottom, and that'll be continuous across the whole length of the underside of the trailer. Seal it up real good. So what I've done is basically sister alongside the factory steel joist. And of course, remember now, that left us 3/4 of an inch down because I'm flush with the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1x4 and I'm going to install it on each of these new joists and the sister. So really and truly, the weight is bearing on the steel, which basically means I've got two joist systems, the wood joist and the steel frame joist. But that helps me, like I said, with nailing, because now I can nail all through this 2x for my subfloor and from underneath for the flashing. That'll come in handy. So what do you think, Coty? What do you think, Coty? Is it okay? What do you think about the trailer?